friends, one more interesting conversation. I have Abhi Naha here with me. Abhi is basically a mobile ecosystem entrepreneur. He's based in the UK.
I am, yes.
And he's actually in India to launch a book on headset design. Do you want to just hold up
Sure.
handset design? So this is the book he's launching today in Delhi. Right, and do you just want to talk about the book and other things?
Sure. Well, thank you for allowing me to talk
Absolute
to everybody.
pleasure.
Right, what it is, with my co-author who's a senior director at Qualcomm, we got approached by Cambridge University Press to write a book about mobile handset design. My own background is mobile tech, touchscreen technology, working for design houses.
You work with Synaptics, right?
Yeah, Synaptics. So getting touchscreen technologies into mobile phones for the first time. Interesting experience. So we wrote this book. We had our day jobs and then we wrote the book. And essentially what I'd like to say is just some snippets which we think are the core bits of things that we think are useful about the book, if I can say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. So our approach is about holistic design, which we think is important for successful mobile phones. And what we mean by that is the balance between hardware, industrial design, mechanical, software, apps and services, and the brand, and packaging that all together. Because we've noticed some handset companies, they just quickly get a product out there and it's not fully integrated. And I think with everything like 4G coming across, and there's a rich environment there for the user experience to really be much more concrete and personalized. So holistic design approach is what we talk about, creating that, working with the ecosystem of third-party developers, content providers, especially entrepreneurial young guys. So we emphasize that. Also, we talk about the future of mobile phones, and I think there are two worlds going forward. One is about smartphones becoming lower priced, so the platform is out there. And also we think about that digital augmented reality, using the mobile phone to match the outside world with the inside world. And we're seeing that coming on stream, and the device is getting cheaper. But also, and an area which is close to me is actually those people who cannot use mobile phones today. So for example, there are 284 million blind, partially sighted people around the world. 2/3 of all blind people are women. And India has the most blind people in the world. So what we're doing as our company, my startup company, based in the UK, we're actually making a range of phones for blind, partially sighted people, more than just software or braille. Only 2 to 5% of people who are blind know how to use braille. So again, using holistic design, the right hardware platform, right apps, services, content, and even the phone looks beautiful. Just because you're blind doesn't mean you don't care about how the phone looks. So we're actually using some of the cloud technology into mobile phones and bringing these phones into India as well. So that's our plan in the startup environment. That's what we're trying to do.
Brilliant. Tell me a little bit more about this blind initiative. So clearly, braille is not the direction to go, as you've
It's not the direction, and there are some companies in India who have tried phones for blind people, and the feedback from the blind institutes in India is actually it needs to be deeper experience. So we're working with new touch vibration technology coming out of Silicon Valley, never used in touch screens before. So it's new touch. We're putting mobile healthcare applications in the handset, and the look and feel aspirational, but bringing the price down. That's really important. And there are apps like location-based services apps as well. But the main thing is, the advice we got from the Blind Institutes is, don't make it a niche medical kind of product. Make it a beautiful phone that everybody can use. So our design philosophy, our chief designer used to be chief of design for Nokia, Frank Nouveau, who's responsible for 1 billion mobile phones.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's a bit of a legend. And the design philosophy is to make a beautiful, simple phone everybody can use. Right? So it's not a stigma stereotype that here's a niche phone for blind people. So that's a kind of design philosophy. But half the phone is built because the platforms exist today. All we're doing is just re-engineering it slightly. So that's what we're trying to do.
Okay, and what kind of functionalities and features do you have on the phone?
So the phone will be, so we're still developing the phone. So things that's going to be like GPS navigation, simple ease of use of the mobile phone, how to quickly get in touch with the people around you as well. So interesting mix we're doing about acoustics as well. 50% of people who have a visual impairment have a hearing impairment. So we're bringing some new innovation around acoustics. So this should be simplified experience. But also we're doing a few things with the channels of when you actually go and buy the phone and you bring it back home, how do you use it? So it has to have an out-of-the-box experience. And also the social impact Because actually, for every phone we're going to sell, smartphone, we're working with Google. We sell in Europe and US. We're actually going to give a phone to blind women in India and Africa for in effect free. So the social impact story is right at the heart of what we're doing.
Fabulous.
Because there's a whole bunch of people who are being left out.
And that's 265 million people, as you said.
Blind, partially sighted people, yeah. So we're working with NGOs in India of how you get the phone to them. But most important is we don't walk away after that. So we work with the healthcare workers to make sure it's sustainable. So we're looking at the whole value chain ecosystem of what we do. It's quite ambitious, but we're a small startup, but we have a strong vision. And luckily, we've got some strong partners around us to help us.
Fantastic. And Frank Novo is clearly
Frank is a good guy.
Absolutely.
Qualcomm have backed us, Arm Holdings have backed us. We're working with the Google guys and some big carriers as well. I think now, I don't want to be too controversial here. There's some mobile phone companies doing extremely well, very, very profitable companies. We just want to say, let's use some of that profit to help the people who really need access and reduce the digital divide.
And what price point are you looking at these phones coming out
Yeah,
at?
so we're looking at a low cost price point at the moment. So we're trying to make the same aspirational functionality, but trying to bring the price down. And for me, like my mother, she's a regular sighted person. But she just wants a simple use of the phone. So why do you have to overload it with too much smartphone? If you don't need it, get rid of it and bring the price down. So that's how we're doing. So we've got different price points, but we just want a simple experience.
Very cool.
For the device. So that's the idea.
Very cool.
Yes, Rajiv.
So, Abhi, what drives you? Obviously, this is a mix of entrepreneurship, money making, social cause. You know, India, UK, blind. What drives you?
Great question. Besides my kids, making sure my kids are okay, what drives me is to, and it may sound a bit dreamy, but is to make a positive change to people. If I can, in my small way, with the technology guys I've got, if we can use their brain power and knowledge and say, look, here's a group of people that we can actually help and bring them and empower them, digitally empower them. If we can do that, I think we have a role in community to do that in a small way, then I'll feel as though I can sleep better at night. So I think if we can make an impact, and we all know mobile phone is making an impact in our life.
Huge, absolutely.
Huge, but we think it can go a little bit further. Because I think smartphones are still going to get very complicated, and we want to bring this experience down to people. So that's what drives me, to make a real positive difference.
Fabulous.
Yes,
fabulous.
Yes.
Well, fantastic. I'm really delighted that I caught up with you today.
You too. Yes,
and I'm sure we'll continue to hear from you as we go along. And best of luck with your book.
Thank you.
What is it priced at? And it's Cambridge University Press that do it. It's what, 395 rupees MRP?
Correct.
Cover price.
Yes.
So it's an Asian edition, so you should be able to buy it for the same price. And you're able to get it at Amazon and other places as well.
Yeah,
Flipkart.
Amazon. Yes, exactly right.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Right.
Cheers.
Thank you again.
Cheers.